Where do we start with this mess?
It's a hard
that is
one,
the
BT.
Steelers.
It's a hard one. We talked about the loss of their, a couple of those defensive players, and it's showing up because of liabilities in pass coverage underneath. At second level, just gets exploited in pass coverage, and we saw that last night on the second touchdown, the one to Giovanni Bernard, where he comes underneath, makes a guy miss at the line of scrimmage. I mean, the linebacker is trailing from, 2 steps into the route. Finley has enough patience and stinks it into Giovanni Bernard. They miss a couple tackles, and all of a sudden it's 17-0 Bengals. So part of it is injury on the defensive side of the ball,
which I told you was coming a month ago.
But the larger part, BT, is 2 things. One that is football related, and one which is attitude related. Okay. And I don't mean like they don't want to do it. I'm talking about just the perception that you're putting out there.
Gotcha.
All right.
I think I know where you're going on both, but go ahead.
So the first one is about Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh, no.
Now,
okay.
so
wow.
Ben Roethlisberger, we know what has made Ben great and has made him a Hall of Famer. He sits in the pocket, he goes through his reads, he gives you a couple pump fakes, and then he throws to a guy, 40 yards downfield who how the heck did that dude get wide open? Mm-hmm. Big Ben's not doing that anymore, BT. Big Ben is getting to his last step, and he's firing balls prematurely into spots that they shouldn't be throwing them to.
It's true.
And, when you watch the play from the all 22 version, and they showed it a couple times last night, that big overhead version.
Sure.
And Ben's trying to force a ball into, double coverage or into a sinking linebacker, whatever it may be. It's if you wait literally one more second, that other guy is coming wide open, and you have the arm to get it there. It's what you used to do. Why are you not doing it anymore? So from a football standpoint, I see Big Ben, and this may be because he's hurt, because his knee is banged up. He doesn't want to take hits anymore. I see Big Ben turning into this quick trigger quarterback, which has never been what's made him successful. You know what I mean?
I do.
And so
I do.
I can't help but not put this on Big Ben. Now, Big Ben spoke after the game, and he talked about some of his frustrations, I guess is the best way to put it. But I think it is injury related. I think he's not as comfortable getting hit as he used to be. And so the ball is coming out sooner and sometimes not where it's supposed to be. And how else do you explain them being down, 17 points like that and score no points in the first half?
I have one explanation, but I'll let you keep going.
Yeah,
I've got a partial explanation.
What the heck was that? And the other side of it, I'm sure, is your explanation, and this is their receiving core. And really the should be leader of their receiving core in JuJu Smith-Schuster.
Yep, I knew you were going there for that. I thought you were going somewhere else with the first part. Listen, when it comes to football, I've said, in terms of the schematics, the X's, I'm not going to waste America's time debating you. But I will disagree in this sense. I think I know enough about the game to drop this on, especially when I reference a stat. I hear you on Big Ben, and this happened to Eli at the end. There's a reticence to get that hit, and that's what made Ben, Eli would expect that, but that's what made Big Ben Ben. Roll around like a, bowling ball, going off the pins and bouncing off people, extending the play, throwing it 40 yards against the grain, touchdown, or 50 yards, whatever it might be. We know dirty uniform, eye black, strong, thick, big dude making plays in the cold late in the season. It's been Ben's MO. I don't want to get popped anymore, and I understand that. But you know what? Those plays aren't downfield because there are no threat to run the football,
That's
man.
a great point.
Listen to me. I'm going to give you 2 stats, and they are both horrendous and both the fatal death nail in the coffin for the Steelers this year, who are going nowhere. Nowhere. This will not be. By the way, they might lose the next 2 games. They're playing the Colts, who are good, and they're playing the Browns, who are good. They might go 0-2. They could go 1-1. They're not going 2-0, and they might not even win the division. But the 2 stats are this. Number 1, they are bottom 5 in pass block win rate. Bottom 5 there.
Yep.
They're bottom 5 in run block win percentage rate. So they're not keeping people off Ben. They're not opening up holes. And if you're no threat to run, I know Snell had that nice run on the left side, 40 yards, whatever it was. That's an aberration. Yeah. It's not happening at all.
Yeah, they haven't done it for a couple of weeks now.
No, it's been a month, really, since the Ravens game. And they were kind of lucky to win that game. They didn't play well that game either. So if there's no threat to run the ball, Well, I'll just creep back a couple of extra yards in the secondary, make sure nobody gets behind me, and that's the football part. The other stuff, JuJu Smith-Schuster, gotta be kidding me. First of all, Von Bell, nicely done. Nicely done. I mean, if you are moronic enough and infantile enough to worry about some stupid juvenile TikTok dance at midfield on your opponent's logo, where you're so brazen to then spike the ball and do these stupid dances, what are you doing? You deserve to get crushed, and you deserve to have that ball pop out and fall to the turf, which it did. So JuJu thinks he's some superstar. He's not. He's good. He's not a superstar. Hasn't been a superstar since AB left. That's a fact. So you have they can't run. Their defense is compromised. And now you have, again, the elements of a loose ship. And I like Tomlin, but this is one thing that creeps into his leadership. AB did whatever the hell he wanted. Mm-hmm. If you're Mike Tomlin, hey, cut the nonsense and stop doing it. Yeah. Get off the field.
Yeah, you're right. You let it go with Antonio Brown and even Le'Veon Bell. You let those guys do what you want, because those guys actually showed up every single weekend, BT. I get it. I understand what you're trying to say here. Mike Tomlin let those guys live the way that they wanted to, football-wise, because he was giving you 1,500 yards and 8 to 12 touchdowns every single year.
Best receiver in football,
no
second or third best running back in football.
There's no doubt about it. But JuJu Smith-Schuster, to your point, he hasn't had a 100-yard receiving day since Antonio Brown left?
Yep.
Are you kidding me?
Can I give you some more additional numbers, and I'll spit it right back?
Go ahead, man.
Take the baton as soon as I'm done.
Go ahead.
JuJu, 12th in receptions, 44th in yards, and he's tied for 15th in touchdowns. Keep going, T. Those are the stats to validate the statement that he's not a superstar. Look, just so we're not throwing out erroneous stuff.
That's right.
Not a superstar.
And people will
Don't
say,
pull that nonsense.
People will say, well, Deontay Johnson's there, or now Chase Claypool, there's just other targets.
A rookie.
But they're rookies, and guys who are supposed to be the best player, they rise. I don't care who else is there. And JuJu Smith-Schuster simply hasn't done that. Last year, there was an excuse. He was battling injuries, and it was just that kind of year. It was unfortunate. It sucked for him and everyone else, but that is what it is. Injuries happen in sports, especially football. But
I'll even give him a transitional period of learning how to play without AB.
Yes, I agree.
Rolling the extra coverage toward him. That's an adjustment. I'll give him that.
But it's interesting. Like, when I think about, ultimately, becoming an undefeated team like they were earlier in the season, and then knowing that you're getting every team's best shot simply because the opposing coach at the beginning of the week is saying, this is the best team in the AFC. They are undefeated. They're going to get after you. They're going to hit you in the mouth.
He doesn't have to say that. It's their rival. It's the Steelers.
Oh, I know. I'm talking about this case. I'm not talking about this case. I'm talking about every week. I don't care.
I got you. Okay.
If you're playing the Rams or whoever it is, they're all saying
Washington.
Exactly. They're all saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, you better be on your AAA game to play the Pittsburgh Steelers. And so they're already heightened because the coaches told you better be on your AAA game to play this game.
Yep.
And now JuJu Smith-Schuster goes out to the middle of the field and does this nonsense. For what?
I don't know. Attention. You know the answer to the question.
But
attention.
For who? BT, for who? There's nobody there. There's no fans in the stadium.
People that he will never look in the eye in person. Yeah. That's what he's chasing. Listen, we're on social. Of course we want to get clip. We want traction. But we're not that desperate for attention.
The only thing he's doing.
What are you doing? You're 25 years old, man.
He's antagonizing.
Dance like that in the club.
He's antagonizing an opponent for no reason.
Correct.
And if you are great, like if you are unbeatable, like, I don't care what you guys do, we're still smashing you. If you are that team, then maybe you can get away with doing that stuff.
Yeah, maybe. I still wouldn't love it, but okay, I wouldn't complain about it.
Exactly. They are not that team.
No.
They haven't been really all season long, especially once they got some of those injuries on the defensive side of the ball, and the defense can't hold up its part, and especially once they became completely imbalanced offensively. I mean, you mentioned it, the run statistics, but It's just when you throw the ball, you got to throw the ball 55 times in a game.
He's averaging 44 attempts his last 4 games.
But when you have to throw the ball that much, you just aren't winning. You're either coming from behind, like they were in this game, or you have 0 run opportunities and 0 run likelihood for success, and so you're forced to go into your past game. And football's not complicated, man. It's like, all right, we're going to rush 3 and drop 8. Good luck, man.
Yep.
Big
What's
Ben,
your answer to that?
I know you're not scrambling because you're Big Ben, and maybe you can get a yard if you take off, but you're not getting much more than that. You're not Lamar Jackson. I'm not scared of you like Kyler Murray or even Josh Allen.
No.
We're going to drop 8 people. Good luck, Ben.
Yeah.
Figure this out.
Go get him, big guy.
And he's struggling. And he wants to get rid of the ball quick, and he's making bad decisions over and over and over again.
I'm not fully absolving Ben, but I am dumping a lot less at his doorstep than you are, and I think others are. I know listen, this is not the day to get on the air and say, Ben deserves a pass. I'm certainly not saying that. I mean, what we saw in the first half was I know there weren't many people in the stands there, but if you pulled somebody with 9 beers in their system, they had a better chance of going for more than 9 or 10 yards, but up the heck of 14 yards.
I agree.
It was anemically, it was alarmingly bad. But based on the circumstances around him, there's a little context there, but it almost doesn't matter. You got 3 straight losses. You got a pop gun offense. You've got a defense that has been crushed by injuries. You're dropping like a cement block in the ocean in the standings. Now you were 1, then you were 2. Now you're 3 because the Bills have the head-to-head. They beat you on Sunday night. Now you got to play the Colts, who are rolling and really good, and now you got to play the Browns in the final game of the week of the season, who are really good. I mean, they could drop. The Tennessee Titans have a lot of wins. They could drop to the 5 seed, 6 seed.
Yeah, no. Can you imagine? I mean,
yes, I can. I'm going to pick the Colts to beat them
after being 11-0. And maybe finishing the season 11-5.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell to be notified when we drop fresh content.